I, 28F, have been best friends with Jess, 27F, since we were kids. We've been through thick and thin together, first crushes, breakups, and even career changes. Jess met Tom, 29M, 2 years ago, and honestly, they seemed like the perfect couple. He's sweet, funny, and treats her like a queen. They got engaged last year, and the wedding was set for last weekend. I was in the wedding party, which made me both excited and nervous. Jess has always been a bit of a perfectionist, and she wanted everything to be flawless. A few weeks before the wedding, Jess started showing signs of stress. I offered to help with anything she needed, but she kept insisting she was fine. Now, here's where it gets a bit complicated. Tom has a younger sister, Amy, 25F, who's also a bridesmaid. When I first met Amy, we hit it off immediately. She's fun, witty, and we quickly became friends. We bonded over our shared love for travel and good food, and it felt like we had known each other forever. As the wedding day approached, I found myself spending more time with Amy while helping with last-minute preparations. We'd go out for coffee, share stories, and laugh until we cried. Jess noticed our growing friendship, but I didn't think much of it at the time. The night before the wedding, we had the rehearsal dinner. Everyone was in high spirits, and Jess seemed to finally relax a bit. However, after a few drinks, Tom pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I know this is a big day for Jess, but I wanted to say that I really appreciate you being there for her. It means a lot." I felt flattered and grateful that he recognized my support. Then, things took a turn. During the dinner, I ended up sitting next to Amy, and we both shared a few too many glasses of wine. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and before I knew it, we were laughing about silly moments and past relationships. At one point, I jokingly said, "You know, if things don't work out with Tom, I'd be okay with taking my chances with you." It was meant to be a light-hearted comment, but Amy's eyes lit up. "Oh really? You think I'm that great?" she teased, leaning closer. I realized I didn't just say that to be funny, I meant it. Fast forward to the wedding day. Everything was going smoothly. Jess looked stunning in her gown, and Tom was beaming as he waited at the altar. The ceremony was beautiful, and I couldn't help but feel a rush of happiness for them. But throughout the day, I found myself stealing glances at Amy, who looked absolutely radiant as a bridesmaid. During the reception, things got a bit wild. The drinks were flowing, and the dance floor was packed. At some point, Amy and I found ourselves dancing together, completely lost in the moment. As the night progressed, we ended up on the balcony, away from the noise, talking and laughing under the stars. That's when I kissed her. It felt impulsive, electric, and exhilarating. For a brief moment, I forgot about everything. Jess, Tom, the wedding, it was just me and Amy. But as soon as I pulled away, the reality of the situation hit me like a cold wave. I was kissing my best friend's future sister-in-law at her wedding. Panic set in. What did I just do? I thought, my heart racing. Amy looked equally shocked, and we both stood there in silence. Before I could process what had just happened, Jess stepped out onto the balcony, searching for us. When she saw us, her face turned from confusion to hurt in an instant. "What's going on here?" she demanded, her voice trembling. I felt like the ground had fallen from beneath me. "Jess, I can explain." She cut me off, tears welling in her eyes. "You were supposed to be there for me today. I can't believe this." Amy stepped in, trying to defuse the situation. "Jess, it was a mistake. We got carried away. We didn't mean to hurt you." But Jess shook her head, her expression a mix of betrayal and sadness. "I trusted both of you. This is supposed to be my day, and you both made it about yourselves." With that, she stormed back into the reception hall. I felt paralyzed, my heart racing as I turned to Amy. "What do we do?" I asked, panic rising. "I think we need to talk to her. She deserves an explanation," Amy replied, her voice shaky. We both followed Jess back inside, but by then, the atmosphere had shifted. People were celebrating, dancing, and enjoying the festivities, but Jess was sitting at a corner table, visibly upset. I approached her slowly, my heart pounding. "Jess, please let me explain," I pleaded, my voice barely above a whisper. She looked up at me, anger and hurt in her eyes. "Explain what?" "How you two were making out while I was getting married." "It wasn't like that," I said, desperation creeping into my voice. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I lost control for a moment. I care about you, and I thought I could trust you." Jess took a deep breath, her face softening just a little. "You care about me, but you went and kissed my future sister-in-law at my wedding. What do you think that says about your feelings?" My mind raced as I struggled to find the right words. "It was a mistake, Jess. I've been confused, and I didn't know how to handle it. But I love you, and I don't want to lose our friendship." At that moment, Tom approached, sensing something was off. "Is everything okay?" he asked, looking between us. "Not really," Jess said, her voice thick with emotion. I think we need to talk about everything that's happened tonight. Tom glanced at me and then back at Jess. Maybe we should take a step back and get some air. Jess nodded, and we all stepped outside onto the patio. The cool night air enveloped us, and the stars sparkled above, seemingly indifferent to our turmoil. As we sat on the patio, Jess turned to me, her expression serious. I've been really stressed about the wedding. I didn't want to admit it, but it's been hard for me, and I think I put too much pressure on myself. I've seen how close you and Amy have become, and I guess I let my insecurities get the better of me. I'm sorry, Jess. I never wanted to hurt you. You're my best friend, and I care about you deeply, I said, my voice trembling with sincerity. Tom spoke up. Look, Jess, we're all friends here. We can work through this together, but we need to be honest about our feelings. After a long silence, Jess finally sighed. I don't want to lose either of you, but we need to figure out where we go from here. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's important we talk it through. We all agreed to take a break from the festivities, and as we talked, the tension slowly began to dissipate. Jess opened up about her worries and the pressure she felt leading up to the wedding, while I expressed my confusion and regret. Amy admitted that she hadn't intended for things to escalate either, and we all agreed to take things one step at a time. After a few hours of heartfelt conversation, we found some common ground. Jess made it clear that while she was hurt, she valued our friendship and was willing to work through it. Tom assured her that their relationship could withstand this challenge if they communicated openly. As the night wore on, we returned to the reception, but things felt different. There was a newfound understanding between us, a commitment to honesty and friendship moving forward. Over the next few weeks, we all navigated the complexities of our relationships. Jess and I worked hard to rebuild the trust that had been shaken, while Amy and I decided to take things slow, focusing on building a solid foundation without complicating Jess's marriage. Eventually, Jess and Tom had their honeymoon, and Amy and I spent some time apart, giving Jess the space she needed to enjoy her new marriage. When they returned, we all gathered to catch up and reflect on everything that had happened.